Welcome to another Microsoft Word tutorial. In today's video we're going to be covering at length many of the basic features in Microsoft Word. So this tutorial is for beginners. How to use Word 365 in 2021. So this is a beginner's guide to Microsoft Word, and this is the table of contents that we're going to cover here. Now, should you wish to jump to any particular section, if you want to just jump to spell check or how to insert an image into Word, you can jump straight to that section. There'll be timestamps in the description below that will help you go straight to that section of the video. So what we're going to cover today is an introduction to Microsoft Word. This is a basics and for beginners. Now we're going to first choose a template. What do I mean by template is when you're creating a Microsoft Word document, you could use Microsoft Word to create a cover letter. This cover letter could be to apply for a job that goes along with a CV. So we've also got templates available for these, and it saves a whole lot of time and formatting if you use a template, and we'll cover that. We'll also cover how to create a flyer, an example, a missing dog, and you want to create some posters. We're going to put a picture on there of the dog, some information, so we'll cover that in this tutorial, and to create a poster promoting something. So we're going to also show how to navigate the Microsoft Word menu. So that's this top section here where you've got all your tabs, and in each tab, so home is a tab, and below home you see a ribbon. So whenever we refer to a ribbon, it's this part here. So we're going to cover how to navigate the Word menu. Next, we're going to talk about formatting your textual content. So that could be changing the font, changing the colour, making it bold, just doing a whole lot of different cool things with your textual font. Tabs and ribbons explained. Spell check your Word document. It's very important that we have that switched on, or we do it at the end or when we're finished our document. We'll also cover the thesaurus. There's a very good feature in Microsoft Word that will maybe help you find a word. Let's say you find a word and you're looking for another word, so we'll use a thesaurus and we'll show how to do that. How to use the search tools in your Word document. So there's a little search box up here, and what this does is the little search box will help you find a word within your document. You may have 5-6 pages and you want to find a particular section. You can do that using the search function. We're going to cover how to insert images into Microsoft Word and how to insert video into your Microsoft Word document. We will also cover how to insert URLs. So if you want to link to an external source, you may have a document and you're referring to maybe something on Wikipedia and you would like to link to that, we'll cover that as well. So let's get started. So this is your home screen here, and as you can see you've got lots of different options. Now these are fantastic templates here. So most of the time you would go in here and you would create a blank document and start from the beginning. But if you want to get creative in Microsoft Word, as before, if you're creating a leaflet, something to do with a missing dog, you can, you've got ones here that's already got images, I've already got them placed in there. So if we just click on this one here, as you can see there's already an image in there. You could put, there's a title in here. The title is already formatted in bold, so you could change this to read lost dog, and you could make it bigger by selecting the drop down here, and you could make it bold by selecting bold, and you could maybe highlight it. So as you can see, we've already started to get a document here, and we could change this picture to our missing dog, And in the author number, we could put please contact this phone number. So you can see you've already got the bones of a document here. So I'm going to close this one. Don't save. I'm going to come back to home. So we've got brochures here. We could create a brochure for a company, a newsletter. You can create nice CVs and cover letters. And there's really good options in here. If we click on this very first one here, as you can see, it looks very sleek. It's very, very nice. And it's got this header and footer in here. And you've got email address that you could link to. You've got your telephone number that you could link to. And you've just, everything's kind of set out here. It would take a little bit of time, especially if you're not experienced in Microsoft Word. This whole format here would take quite a bit of time, but this template's already done everything for you. The titles are there, these little symbols are here, and you just need to fill in the content. So if we come back to home again, here's a different type of CV. Again, as you can see, it's got this very nice banner here at the top which really stands out. Now if we were to click on this banner here, so if you were to select this top header here, you could make it your own. So you could actually, where it's got the initials there, you could insert your picture there if you would like, or you could just change it to your initials. But you can also, up here in the shape fill, you can change the colour here to whatever colour you would like, and you can change it to gradients and so forth as well. So we'll just select the shape fill and gradient, and as you can see there's different linear gradients in here, from the centre, from the left, etc, etc, from the top. So if we select the top one, it just gives it that little bit of depth gradient going from dark to light to the bottom. So you can really play about with these templates to make your CV your own. You could make it your own colour. You could change these initials to put your image in by clicking on insert image, and we'll cover that later on in this tutorial. So again, we will come back to the home button here to see what other templates we've got here. So as you can see, we've got modern papers, we've got trip journals, we've got basic resumes. So there's a lot to decide from here that gets you a really good start when creating a Microsoft Word document. Here's one here for a menu. If you're creating a menu, you've got a nice picture here. You've got a heading 1, very basic, but that could be breakfast, you know, a la carte menu, lunch menu, drinks menu. So you've got the bones of a menu started here, the layout and the format. Again, if we come back to home, one of my favourite templates is this family update here. So if we click on this, you can really see what they've done here, and to do this, to achieve this and change the images, and it really takes a little bit of time here. So again, we've got our top banner here. If we double click on that and come into shape fill, again we can change it to our own colour. Click the drop down, choose the gradient, and this time we can choose from centre, and as you can see it's darker in the middle and it gets lighter as it goes out. So that's us covered a little bit about the templates that's available. You should really utilise the templates if you are using Microsoft Word for a project. If you've got a project in mind, then definitely go in and look at the templates that's available there, the Microsoft Word template documents. It may really give you a good start to whatever project you are embarking upon. So again, if we come back to home, I'm just going to select a blank document, and then we can get started with this tutorial. And the first thing we're going to cover is the Home tab. So the Home tab up here, this is probably the tab that you will be in most of the time when you're in your Microsoft Word document. In the Home tab, you can cut and paste, you can change your text to bold, underline, italics. So we'll just put some text in here. This is a Microsoft Word tutorial from Help Vid. So as you can see, it's just put in, it's always set here, the defaults, and if we just highlight this text here, we can change the look and feel of our textual content. And this is done in the Home tab and the Below ribbon here. So we'll just go through some stuff. Let's make the text big so we can see it on screen. So we've changed it to 24 point size. We'll just change this to a different font, and it's changed it there. So next we can change it to bold, we can make it italics, and we can underline. So I'm just going to deselect all of them, and I'm going to come over to this selection here. Now the little pen icon, this is the highlight colour of the text, so this will cover the background. So I'll actually highlight it. It's a little bit deceiving because you think the pen is the colour of your writing. It's actually the colour of the highlighting. And this little A symbol, this is the colour of the font. So if you want to change the actual colour of your textual content, you need to highlight the text first. And this is it as red. So again, the A symbol, this would be the colour of the actual text itself, and the little highlighter here is the colour of the highlight, and we'll select no colour. So let's go over some other tools here in this Home ribbon, the Home tab of Microsoft Word 365. So what we're going to do is select this here, and this is very good for when writing titles. You can make it all lowercase, you can make it all uppercase, capital letters, or the one I use quite a lot is to capitalise each word. This is the way I like to do titles. I think that when you're doing a title in Microsoft Word, the uppercase is just a bit too bold. I think if you select the capitalise each word, it really makes your title, let's say, readable. And it still stands out because each word starts with an uppercase capital letter. So over here, if we just delete some of this here, I'll just backspace, I'm going to highlight. So these icons here are just alignment. So just now by default it's set to align to the right. We can align to the left, or we can align to the centre. Again, this is another good feature. If you're writing documents, you'll have your title aligned to the centre, and your text underneath that will be to the left. So what we can do here is start formatting the text underneath. We will make that a little bit smaller so it looks nice and neat. And we've got our title there. So the next thing to cover is over on this side, we've got spacing. So we can highlight all our text, and just now it's set for no spacing, or we can make heading spacing. So we'll put that little bit of spacing in between the title and the actual text. As you can see, it defaulted back to the default text there. It defaulted back to the original text here because all these here are presets and you can change these. So you can have your heading 1 to be a certain font, certain size, and we'll cover that. That's a little bit more in depth. We'll cover that in another tutorial, setting your default headings. So that's the heading, that's the Home tab and the ribbon. Now there's way more in here. As you can see, there's a lot of different borders and so forth we can put in, but I've just covered the most common tools that you would use on a daily basis here. We're going to try and keep this tutorial basic. We've got a lot of tabs and a lot of stuff to go through here. So although the Home tab here is the tab that you will use the most, we have covered the most common features here, which is changing the look and feel of your text, changing the placement of your text, and changing the spacing of your text in Microsoft Word. So the next thing we're going to do in the tabs and ribbons section, now we're going to discuss the Insert tab in Microsoft Word. Now this is the second tab along, and Microsoft Word in designing and developing have put these in an order which they know is used the most common. So the home button here, this is all the most tools that are the most frequently used. And in the next tab, the Insert tab, that's the second most popular tab that's used in Microsoft Word. And that's why they're in this particular order. Now there will be other tabs appear here, but they are hidden unless you've got certain elements inside your document. And we'll cover that just in a little second. Now we're going to insert some textual content into your document, and I'm just going to hit return, and we'll just Control V or paste, Command V. So there we go, and I've put the textual content in here because now we are going to insert an image into our document. So the Insert tab, we can insert things into your documents, whether it be 3D icons, shapes, or pictures. So we are going to insert a picture into our Microsoft Word document. If we come down here, hit return a couple of times, and I'm going to go Insert, Pictures. I'm going to select a picture from File. So here we have the Help Vid logo. Now, as you can see, it's put it in here. And to resize the logo, we select it, and these little placeholders appear. We can drag and drop. Now, what else has happened here is when you select an element, as we spoke before, this tab appears here. So if we click on the text, the tab disappears. If we again select it, this picture format appears. So we have this image here that we've inserted into our document, but if we try to move the image, it keeps snapping back to the same position. Now we've got a separate tutorial on this. I'll put the link in the description below. But since we're here, we may as well cover it because I know how frustrating this can be, and it's a tutorial, as I said, we've done recently. So to do this, we want to select the image so the placeholders are selected. We want to come up to Page Format. We want to select where it says Wrap the Text. And from the drop down in Wrap Text, we want to select Square. Now with that selected, you can see that the textual content is wrapping around the image. So we can move the image anywhere we like, and the text will just wrap around wherever the image is placed. It's a really cool feature, and we'll go more in depth. As I said, there's a tutorial on this whole subject below, but we can cover, obviously, you can cover spacing and stuff like that as well, give it more padding and give it more spacing. So that's very simple on how to add an image into your document, and images really do help a Microsoft Word document come to life, especially if you're doing a presentation and you want to add some graphs or some visual content. People are a lot more engaged when they see pictures there on the screen, and it's not just a whole bunch of text and bullet points. So it's very good for a presentation to add, introduce images. So how we done that again was we went to our Insert tab and we just basically hit on Insert Picture, and we done it from our file, but you can go to Stock Images, Online Pictures, or Browse Online for a picture. Other options here is to insert headers and footers, and when you insert a header, it will create a header on every single page of your document. Again, there is a tutorial in the description below that goes in depth on headers and footers, and also how to add page numbers to your document. in that tutorial. I think it's this one here that we do, the facet type, and we don't page number the first page. So we basically page number a whole document, but we start from a specific page, because a lot of documents start as number 2, because number 1 is the main cover, the main page. You don't want it numbered. So yeah, we cover that in another tutorial. The same for footers as well, inserting footers, and this just repeats on every single page. You don't need to do it every time. If you insert one header and set a page number attribute, then every new page that's created is automatically numbered. So that's another really good feature. Now we're going to cover how to insert a video into your Microsoft Word document. Now, to insert a video into your Microsoft Word document, again, you need to be in this Insert tab. And if you come along, you will notice where it says Media. I think in older versions of Microsoft Word 2010, 2016, I may be wrong, but I'm sure it says video in one of them in an older version. Certainly in the new version, it says to insert media. So if you select video browser or from file will open up your videos that you have on your actual machine. So I'm just going to click on this intro here, and I'm just going to drag it in. And as you can see, the video, the exact same. You can kind of resize it, move it about the screen, and the textual content wraps round about. It wraps round about the actual text. So if you put it up the top here, and if you resize it, the textual content will just move to accommodate the video. So it's another very good feature, having a video in a document. Again, if you've got something that you want to show, you can show them it from within your document, from within your Microsoft Word presentation. Ideally, you would do this in PowerPoint, but there's nothing stopping you from doing it in Microsoft Word, because PowerPoint is a whole different application, and there's a lot of things that you can do in Microsoft Word that people may not know. So that's another really good feature. So that's us covered how to insert images into our Microsoft Word documents, how to insert media, video, into our Microsoft Word document, and we've covered headers and footers. So as you can see, there's quite a lot in this Insert tab. Anything that you want to add to your document other than text gets done in here. How to insert tables into your Microsoft Word document. To insert tables into Word 365, you place the cursor where you wish the table to be inserted. So as you can see, I've got a flashing cursor here in the document. This is where I would want my table to appear. So I will then come up here, and in the Insert tab, Table, I'm going to select Drop Down. Now it opens this box here. What this is going to determine how many rows and how many columns. So I'm going to decide 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. I'm going to click it, and it's going to insert it into the table. So I'm going to come up here and hit return a few times just to put this onto the next page. So here it is on the table, and if you select the little top cursor here, you can see different table designs at the top. So this is a new tab that's appeared because we've inserted a new document. So as you can see, this one's pretty cool. It's got the lines changing from white, grey, and there's just a whole host of different ones to choose from. You can make them coloured and to present your data. So we've just put a simple box in there with some content in there. Now again, if we highlight everything, you can see it's automatically making your number 1 your heading. So automatically when you create a table, it's thinking that you've got headings in there and they'll embolden them. So to change this, again, we want to come back to our Home tab. Remember, our Home tab is where all our fonts are. We want to make this the same as our text because we don't want it to be a different font. and we want it to be the same size, and we want the font to be the same colour, and we don't want any of it to be bold. So that's it now. If we again highlight the actual box itself, come into table design, we're just going to select the basic table design, and we're going to remove the border from here. So as you can see here, we've got the border, and we can select no border, and then it just displays your text like this. And then you can resize your table and just move this about. So you move the box anywhere in your document, everything will move just like so. So this is the Insert tab in Microsoft Word. If you want to insert anything into your document, this is where it's going to be. So this is, in this section we've covered how to insert pictures, how to insert videos, how to insert the headers and footers, and how to insert boxes into your document. Microsoft Word, check the spelling and grammar of your Microsoft Word document. So we're going to cover how to spell check our document. Now, as you can see, Microsoft Word do a fantastic job of picking up any errors in your document by underlining it in this squiggly red line. Now, there's very many spelling mistakes in here because it's recognised it's not English. We're using Ipsum. Now, let's say you were to go in here and we'll just create a word here, micro. So here we've done the word Microsoft, we gave it 2 T's, it's picked up it's wrong. So the quick way to fix errors, because usually you would maybe only have 3 or 4 depending on the size of your document. So you would just right click on and it would give you an option. So you can see here Microsoft, and you click it, right click and fix it instantly this way. And if we just click up here, this is the back arrow. If you make a mistake, that's the back arrow here. So again, if we just right click and Microsoft. If you have a lot of spelling mistakes and if you want to check the grammar, you would come across to the Review tab. So that's the Review tab on Microsoft Word. And you can see here we have spelling and grammar. Now if you select spelling and grammar, Microsoft Word will identify every spelling error on your document here. Now the cool thing is, if you've spelt the same word wrong 2 or 3 times, it gives you the option to correct them all. Anytime you've created this word wrong, it will correct it right through. So this is the quick way. You would just right click over the word and then correct it. In the Review tab, if you come into Review and then you come to Spelling and Grammar, it will open up this spelling and grammar, and it's very good the way Microsoft, the way it operates is if you have spelt the same word wrong 3 or 4 times in your document, by just auto correcting it once, you will make all the corrections from one click. So in here, if this appears lots of times in the document, what it does, we can just select autocorrect. Or in this case, this is obviously, it may be for some reason you've got a word in there that's not picked up on the English dictionary, but you want it to stay there. You can select ignore once, or you can select ignore all, and it will ignore all mistakes of that. So now we're just going to click close, and as you can see, it would have made the corrections on this top line. So that's how to do a spelling and grammar check in your Microsoft Word document. There is also a thesaurus built into Microsoft Word where you can highlight the word, and from the menu presented to you, you can choose to look up And the Smart Lookup will just give you other options of the word and a little explanation about the word. So it's a very good feature. I use the thesaurus in Microsoft Word on a daily basis. Now we're going to cover the layout and the orientation of your document. This will be either portrait, which we've got just now, or it will be landscape. So if we come into our tabs at the top and we select layout, and as you can see, the second icon is orientation, and just now you can see we're in portrait view. If we select landscape view, you'll see your document changes. So again, we can select the image that we've got in there and we can move it about. Again, we'll come down here and the video looks good. The text is wrapping around it nicely. So this is just to change the layout of your page from portrait to landscape. To change the size of your document, you may have a printer with certain size of paper, A3, A4, A5. You may be printing an envelope, so you can change the sizes in here. There's lots of different options in here, from envelopes to A3. The standard size here in the UK, most printers would have A4 paper loaded into them. So that would be your default size. Now if you print, it doesn't matter, this will just print off this way in a portrait view or your landscape view. You don't need to change anything in your printer section. In the view section of Microsoft Word is basically the view of your document as you see it. So you can change the view to a print layout. So in the previous section we changed our layout here to the landscape orientation from portrait, but in the view tab you can change your print layout to web and it will make it more like a web page. If it's something that you're working on that you are going to upload to the web, this is a useful feature. You can put ruler and grid lines. The grid lines may help if you're looking to do some padding and spacing round about images. And you can select the zoom here. So the zoom, we're on 100%. If you want to zoom in, you can go to 150 and it will just increase the size of the font without increasing the size of the actual font and textual content on the document. It's just for your viewing. So we'll go back to 100. Okay. Now here you can choose to view only one page or multiple pages. This is very good, multiple pages. The way I would usually work is I would have my layout in portrait and I would have side by side pages, just so I could see what they look like side by side, and then underneath you've got another two side by side. It's almost like a book format. So that's the view tab. This is mostly just for your viewing pleasure when you're creating the document. This isn't going to have an effect on the document when you actually go to print. You could have, for example, a size 12 font here on your document, but you may find it hard to read, but you want to print it like this for others because it looks good. But just for your viewing, you can increase the size here by zooming in a little bit. So if we come back to our home tab again, this is the tab that we're going to be in most of the time. Now if we come back to our home tab, this is the tab that we're going to be in 90% of the time. When you're in a Word document and you're typing away, you're just creating titles and textual content. In here you can change the font, the size, etc., as we covered at the beginning of the tutorial. Saving a Word document. Now to save a Microsoft Word document, you would come up to the top where you've got the little floppy drive type thing, but it says save, and click on this. Now it will open and it will ask you to give your document a title, and it will automatically be a docx, which is Microsoft Word. You can give it some tags in here and where to save it. So here by default is always the desktop, and what format would you like to save it. So you can save it on different types of formats. You may be sending a document to someone who doesn't have a latest version. They've maybe told you they've been having some problems with documents that you've sent them in the past. And in that case, they may be using an older version of Microsoft Word. So you can save it as .docs, .dot, and various different formats. If you come down to the bottom here, there's different special formats, and you've also got PDF. So you can save a Word document as a PDF. When you would want to do that is when you may not want somebody to be able to edit what you're sending them. The PDF locks it, and the person at the other end can't edit it unless they've got a PDF editor. But most of the time you will just save it as is, .docs if you're using the new version of Microsoft Word, on your desktop, and file format Word. You just click save and it will save to your desktop. To print your Microsoft Word document, up the top there is a little printer, and you would just select print and select your desired printer from here. Would you like to print in colour? How many copies would you like? And the usual stuff that you'll be presented with in a printer menu. So just this little top icon here, or Control V, Command V on a MacBook, will bring up the same box, and that's how to print a document on Microsoft Word. Dictate in Word tutorial. In Microsoft Word we have a new dictate function that will turn talk to text. So if we zoom in here, you can see the dictate option, and that is located in the Home tab. Now, to have this dictate function, you need to have a subscription to Microsoft Word. Now, this is an absolutely fantastic function. It really literally just turns your words into text, and it's a new feature in Microsoft Word. And as you can imagine, it just goes without saying the amount of time saved on typing. So let's get started and we will show how this works. So when you click on dictate, this little box opens here and it says tap on the microphone to resume. So we are going to do that now, and it will start typing wherever your text is. Our cursor is over here, and we've set it to 36 point text just so that you can see on the screen. In this Microsoft Word tutorial, we are going to demonstrate how to use the search function to search for a particular word within your document. Search in Microsoft Word. So the search function in Microsoft Word will help you locate a word within your document. So what we're going to do is come up to the top here. As you can see, there's a little search icon just in the top right hand side. Today we are using Microsoft 365. If you are using an older version, or it may be the case that you're using a newer version, you should still be able to follow along. So what we're going to do is just click on that and it'll open the box. We're going to look through our document here, and we've got the word tutorial quite a lot. So we're going to search for tutorial. And as you can see, it highlights the amount of times tutorial has appeared throughout our page. Now, the reason this is a good feature is you may want to, if you feel that you're writing a long essay or a long document and you feel you're using the same word over and over, it is good to just highlight that throughout your whole 2000 word essay, and it will show you how many times you've used that word. Now, what you could do is you could double click on the word, you could right click, and you could do a smart lookup, check with the thesaurus and see if there's any alternate words that you could be using that relate to the word tutorial, so you feel as if you're not being repetitive throughout your essay. So that's how to search in Microsoft Word. Next, we're going to show how to insert links into your document. So we have an article here in front of us. This is an article that I recently compiled on the best SEO tools, in my opinion, the complete list. If this topic is of interest to you, I will put a link in the description below. So here I've got an article, and I think I've got 10 different tools that I use for SEO purpose, and I've listed a big article here on them. So now here I say the official websites. I'm going to place a link to the official website. So to do this, I'm just going to come to the website. I'm going to copy the link to the website, and I'm now going to come back to my document, and I can just paste that link in here. Now, as you can see, it just goes in as text and it doesn't actually link to the website. To do this, we would just highlight and we would right click, and here where it says link, we will just actually paste the same link and click OK. So now if you hit Command Return, and here it will automatically take you to this website. Another way to make the link is to highlight the text and to come to your Insert tab here, and from there go to Links, and you can create the link here also. So what we can do here is, it doesn't necessarily need to be this here. You can just put look here, so it can be any textual content that you can create a link to, and just paste in here, OK, and that will take you to the same web page. So if you just select this, this will open up the web page. Please like this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notifications bell to be notified of new uploads. But most important, please share this video across your social platforms. It helps immensely with the visibility of the channel. Until the next video, stay safe.